Hi there, and welcome to Tarot by Fernanda. This is the channel where you can find plenty of pick-a cards that will be clear and honest. Okay, I don't sugarcoat things because it is better to have the information straight to be able to make a decision that feels right for us. Okay, with the information we have access to. All right, on today's pick a card, we'll go over whether he or she wants you back. Your ex-boyfriend, your ex-girlfriend, your ex-partner, your ex-husband or wife, or, your ex almost something situationship. Does he or she want you back? Now, there are four groups in front of you. Group number 1, 2, 3, and 4. What you have to do is think of this person and then pick a pile for this person, okay? Because we're going to be channeling his or her energy to find out about whether he or she wants you back. So once that you have picked a pile, you can go to the description box or the comment section and you will find the timestamp for each group and you can start watching your reading. Now, those that are new in my channel, this is something I always suggest to beginners. Do pass your finger over your phone, over your tablet, over your laptop, okay, over the screen, wherever you're watching me from. And close your eyes. And whenever you feel a tingle on your finger or your nose or somewhere else in your body, you stop, and wherever it's pointing at, that is the pile that your body is telling you that there is information for you in here to listen to. You need to understand that your body has a direct connection with the soul, and the soul has access to so much knowledge. And so this will be all about what you need to hear more than what you want to hear, because sometimes when we choose with our eyes, our mind, our ego, we choose a pile that we want to listen to, not what we need to. Okay? That said, thank you so much to everyone that has subscribed so far, that has left beautiful comments, have given me a like. Thank you for those that are subscribing today. And thank you for those that maybe you were not really planning on subscribing today to my channel, but you're just thinking about it now. So thank you as well. Thank you for your support. And I will see you in a couple seconds. Bye. Hi there, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. If you picked this beautiful crystal, welcome. Now, I got your card over here, but this will be for your angel's messages later on. And also, an apology in case that there's noise in the background. I did rescue recently a puppy from the street, so she sleeps, she plays, she does whatever she wants. So let's start with your reading. And I failed to say who I was. A lot of you already know me. I'm Fernanda. I'm the psychic and tarot reader behind all the pick-a cards that you can find in this YouTube channel. So let's start with looking at everything that has to do with this other person that you're asking about, that you're wondering about, your ex-partner, your ex-husband, your ex almost something, situationship. And it's just to know where his head is at right now, his energy, his current perception of you, his current perception of whatever you two had, however long it lasted. And it doesn't matter how long ago it was, because we're talking about, like, right now, how does he perceive this whole situation, and whether he wishes he could, like, get back together or not. Like, is this something that still lingers in his or her mind to this day? And then we're gonna switch to the other part of the reading, which is more your angel's messages. So meaningful information, like, is this even your soulmate, right? Is this one of your soulmates, or not even? Is this person, are you going to ever see this person again? Even if, like, it's not in a romantic, setting, are you going to ever see this person again? And then also, how will the dynamic be if you two were actually to get back together again? So let's look first at this person's energy. And to begin with, there's the Judgment card and the 9 of Wands, and I'll show it to you just in a sec. this person is definitely, I would say, struggling, trying to show a strong front. This person, regardless of how long ago it was, I would be saying he, but you know that it's he, she. So he's trying to show a brave face for sure. Doesn't let much doesn't let people help him either. Right now he's in a time in which he's like, no, I don't want anyone to help, I can do it by myself. And but I can tell that he's having a hard time, because when it comes to judgment, it is definitely a time which we are seeing the results of our actions, and like it's called the judgment. So the judgment card, it does represent the last judgment, and it's like we are being called back, and kind of there's this whole thing of like, what is it, how do you behave, how do you treat others, who you were in your life when you were like walking and living, and so you'll be judged on that. And right now this is more about like him in general, whatever he's going through, because it doesn't have to necessarily do with your relationship, but he's going through a tough time, he's going through a lot of changes, I find, and he definitely seems like ready or willing to get a second chance in life, or a second chance maybe with you. Because with judgment, whatever is going on in his life, if there's other stuff other than your situation with him, he is in that time of like, he is asking for that second chance, he believes he deserves it as well, and he's also like kind of like ready for his punishment if there's any, and he is kind of like, I will say, ready to do whatever needs to be done to get what he wants, improve to someone that like he is a good person now. Also I feel like, but there's this energy of like him wanting to do it on his own, like this whole thing, he wants a second chance in life. But with this Nine of Wands, I do feel like there may be other people that have like offered help in the past, but he will just have like said like he just said no, and like, no, I don't need to, I'm okay, I'm fine. And also it feels like this person, he is holding his ground about something very specific. I don't know what it is, but it's like I feel like other people have come around, and he's just in an energy of like, I'm not moving from here, I'm not budging either, because I'm either waiting for someone, or I know that I need to stay here if I want something specific to happen. So I do feel like they're telling me this because some other people have like, come and go, come and gone, and he just doesn't want to budge because he feels like he needs to wait there. Otherwise things won't be like he wants them to be. So I don't know what's going on in his like life in general, right? But this is the energy he's in right now. So and this is important to know, because let's say that you really care about this person, but you don't want to be in his life romantically anymore, and you just want to help him. Let's say that he were to be dealing with like money struggles, or a mental breakdown, whatever it is. It's like, let's say that he does need help of a kind of like, he could use help. If you were to offer it, he won't be receptive. Like the energy, someone's energy is important to know, so we know whether this person will be receptive to something specific or not. So I will say, when it comes to help, he's not receptive. When it comes to like second chances or redemption, like an opportunity to redeem himself, he is very open to that. Oh, also, my voice is a little bit weird right now because I'm just recovering from a cold. So, yeah. Alrighty, so let's continue. In here, what I'm looking at are the structure of the reading. So, his current perception of the relationship. So, regardless of how long ago this was or this happened, like if it were to be 3 months ago, 3 years ago, 15 years ago, it really doesn't matter. We're going to be asking of like today, as of today, what is his perception of that relationship? Because sometimes, when it just happened, we think that, oh my gosh, that was the worst thing ever. I hate you. But then 2 years later, 5 years later, you're like, huh, he was actually a really nice person. So like your perception of the whole relationship changes. Let's look at how does he perceive the relationship now. And I have 2 of Wands. The World. The Page of Wands and the Knight of Coins. Alrighty. Definitely he perceives this relationship like an adventure, like something that has or had so much potential, something that was going far, like something that like had like a level. I think that you two, with the 2 of Wands and the Page of Wands, I'm getting a very young energy, like I think that you two, majority of people that pick this pile, it's not like you dated for like 6 years and married and had kids. Like I don't feel like that's what this is about. It's like more like it was cut short, because I'm sensing like really great energy, really young energy, when it's like this energy is being very eager to please, to do things right, to like, there's a lot of dreams, there's a lot of like expectations out of life, regardless of your age. But when you're in a relationship in the beginning, it's that like more that like I support you, you support me, and we're such a great team, and we want to please each other. And it's and because of this young and fire energy, I feel like that was that. And with the Knight of Pentacles is telling me that this person really believes that there was so much potential to this relationship, that there was a level of commitment that maybe was even like a level of commitment that usually some relationships wouldn't have at this stage. I do think that there's so much adventurous energy here, a lot of travel involved, a lot of like creative energy in here. Yet when it came to your relationship, there was a lot of like commitment and structure, or like plans ahead of time, and definitely a lot of potential for this to actually become like something more, like even marrying this person. So that's how this person feels about it. I also do think that maybe you two support each other's like careers a lot or dreams a lot, and he definitely has a very positive perception of this connection, because there's no like even like low times or more like negative thoughts about this relationship, which will be normal, right? But I feel like he is left with just like good stuff. He thinks that yeah, you two were so young, had so many dreams, maybe had like such an open mind when you two met, didn't really know who you were. With this 2 of Wands, I think that how I'm sensing and feeling all of this is someone who thinks that you guys were unexperienced or kids, or just more like you didn't have an idea of who you were, and he neither, and you grew together and you support your dreams, and this relationship was like that, such a great adventure, such a great accomplishment, and it could have gone further. Maybe it was just cut short. Okay, so let's look at what is his perception of you. And this doesn't mean that this is who you really are. This is just how he perceives you. And then remember that maybe his perception is limited because you may have no contact with this person. So it could be years or months that he hasn't really reached out. You two haven't talked to each other. So his perception may be limited, okay? It's subjective, it's not objective. So let's look at how does he or she perceive you. Two of Pentacles, Four of Cups, and the Devil. and on the bottom the Two of Swords. So you know something I'm getting now, because when I'm asking your guides, like, what is the cards, what is this person's perception of the relationship, and there was this Two of Wands of like a lot of dreams, a lot of like a lot of choices to be made in the future, a lot of plans, a lot of adventure. And when I ask about the perception of you, there's this Two of Pentacles again, and there's Two of Swords on the bottom, and this like very heavy like frequency of number two. Two can represent harmony, of course, but in this case, because it is not the Two of Cups, which will represent that harmony, balance, and like giving to each other everything you have, but it's more of like he feels that sometimes you want to do everything, and you know when someone says like jack of all trades, it's a jack of like it's a I can't remember the saying, but it's a jack of all trades is not an expert in it doesn't become an expert in like nothing specific. And with the Two of Pentacles, I feel like he or she believes that you used to like spread yourself thin, like you want to give a part of yourself to everyone. It could be that you had a lot of friends, you really care about your family, you really care about a lot of people, and so about your job, everything. It just seems like he perceives you someone who tends to spread herself thin a lot. And what happens is, although you are giving attention to all these things, you cannot actually be excellent or fully be there when you are spread so thin. And this is one thing, is like, you know how I think I have said this in the past, like when it comes to be, let's say this isn't a very simple example, like being a mom. Can you be a good mom and work and be like, be an excellent mom and be an excellent person in their career? Probably not when the baby is just like a newborn. And so you do need to understand that sometimes when you still want to do two or three or four things at the same time, you just need to know that you won't be excellent at one of them or a couple of them. So that's why like people that, let's say, will go to the gym and they're just like literally that's their career, will be at a different level that someone just like me that will like work and then just 3-5 times a week go to the gym. Do I go like it's just, it feels like that, like that's what he probably has had conversations about this before with you, of like, you can be at all places, like I don't feel like you're here, I feel like you're too busy, I feel like maybe you're trying to keep so many people happy at the same time and you're not actually taking anyone's side. So he feels like that's who you are. You spread yourself too thin. You don't pick sides either. That's another thing. Like you never pick sides. And with this Four of Cups, this person feels like you don't really know what you want. You sometimes, it's like he perceives you right now as someone who may also not be really connected with her emotions, with her feelings, with herself. Like you are kind of, you could have an amazing thing in front of you and you won't be able to recognize it. And it's just also, he feels like no matter how much you get, you never are fully satisfied. And that could be because he perceives you as someone who looks for very specific things, and if you get something good but it's not what you asked, you're not appreciative, or you don't know how to appreciate it or value whatever you're getting. And with the Devil, this is Capricorn energy and the Two of Swords. So I do think that the Devil, in his perception, is not that you're someone who's bad. It's like you are like his drug, okay? Like he can't do without you. He is very physically attracted. He feels attached to you. There's also a level of codependence, I think, between you and him. And he feels like that. He feels that you... There's also like a very dark side of you, maybe at times it could be that at times when it comes to conversations, when it comes to expressing yourself, you could like be really hurtful as well. There is that edgy side of you that he sees in you, this edgy dark side, more dangerous, very sexy as well. But it's like he feels like you know exactly how to push his buttons and everything. And right now, like, I don't know how much information he has about you, but he thinks that you're someone who still behaves the same way, and sometimes you don't think about consequences much, and you could put yourself in dangerous situations. And that you may be like the type of person that you're going out a lot, but not really deeply connecting with people. So, yeah. Okay, all right. So this was okay. Let's now ask actually if he wishes to get back together. Like, is this an idea that he still plays with in his mind? Is this something that is still alive or present in his mind, and thinks to do something about it? So, does he wish to get back together? 2 cards. Can I just have one? Thank you. 3 of Cups, yes, and the 4 of Wands on the bottom. So, yeah, he actually still wishes to get back together. Some of you actually maybe are trying to be with, like, around you as a friend with this 3 of Cups. This person may already try to be your friend, be in your, like, network, or in your friend circle as well. And I do think that if it's not something that's happening now, could be happening later on. But I just think a lot of you have a lot of friends in common. You go to similar places. You go to similar like entertainment places. So you could like cross each other at the movie theaters. At future weddings, future events, future parties, future birthdays. Like there's something that it tells me that your lives are linked somehow for a lot of you. Now, I'm going to ask your angels whether this is like a soulmate connection. How will the dynamic be if you were to get back together, and if you are going to see this person again? But you already feel like you're seeing this person again, even if it's not in a romantic setting. I think this is a great question to ask, because sometimes we have unsaid things to some people, and it's just nice to know whether we're seeing them again or not. And yeah, so I'm gonna look at if you're gonna cross paths again, the dynamic, and whether this person is a soulmate or not. Now, if you have made it to this point, group number 1, this is the perfect time to just hit subscribe, to hit that liking button. I realize that 95% of you that watch my videos actually have not subscribed yet. So this is such a simple but beautiful way of saying thank you, and just like keeping up with my videos as well. That said, let's look whether you're going to be seeing this person ever again, if you're going to cross paths. And yes, they say yes, but also yes with this card that was really like making it clear to me that this maybe was cut short and there's so much more potential in this connection. Maybe you two will end up being friends. Maybe I just feel like you are long term in each other's lives for a reason. So I mean, it could be that you two actually have kids together, you share family, you share friends, you work at the same place. But yes, with this Knight of Pentacles, you will be seeing each other, but also feel like this is a long-term thing. Okay. And now let me look at the dynamic of this connection if you two were actually to get back together, right? And this is just so you know how would it be like if you two are back together, and if this is a similar situation that you were already in the past, then there's kind of like no point. I guess I don't know. You have free will. I'm just thinking of me. I'm like there will be no point for me to be with this person if it will be like a repeated cycle. So far there's the Emperor, the 5 of Pentacles. and the Eight of Swords and the Three of Swords. So there's a lot of despair. There's a lot of like lack, insecurities, lack of stability, lack of confidence, lack of love, lack of health as well in this connection. There's a lot of like money troubles, or like there's a lot of fight over money, assets, could be family stuff, could be because the earth element is anything that is also long-term or physical assets. And with this Eight of Swords and the Three of Swords, there's definitely a lot of this pair with this person if you were to be together again. I just feel like what they have in common in here is like being tied down. This person is tied, like is blindfolded, and this person is not tied, but she cannot find the key to free herself. And I just feel like there's a lot of history, and there's like, there could be a lot of history, and when you get back together, it's clear that in the beginning things will be good, things will seem like you two are on the same page with this Emperor energy, this like really strong masculine energy. But this could, with this like all this other energy, I feel like this could turn again into the kind of relationship that one person says how things go. With the Emperor as well, if this is your case, doesn't have to be, very few of you could be asking about a relationship that was even a bit violent, or that was a relationship that there was a bit of bullying, I feel like. And I'm not saying violent like physically, but could be bully, could be like you felt like everything had to be done on someone's terms that were not yours. And I just feel like there's a lot of love, but there's a lot of history, and there's a lot of like, you just feel like a lot of fogginess. When it's foggy and you can walk and you can see clearly, that's how it feels like this whole relationship, and it really hurts. Like there's a lot of heartbreak in this connection if you get back together. Now, with this Eight of Staffs, it does let me know though that you two are soulmates, and you need to remember that we have more than one soulmate. We have several soulmates, and this person definitely is a soulmate. And I get it now why you feel like right now like it makes sense to get back together. But at least if you do get back together in the near future, this will be like what the dynamic will be like. So I feel like there's a lot of work, or a lot of transformation to be done, and self-awareness to be achieved, so there's no so much hurting. Because I understand like you two are soulmates, and we have more than one soulmate, and we sometimes we meet a soulmate and that's not the person we're meant to stay with, because also we have grown out this energetic connection or energetic contract. And I don't know if it's your case or not, but I know that this person is a soulmate, and this is why you feel this strong connection with him or her. This is unfinished business. I find like you will meet this person again in the future, but right now, if you work to get back together, things will be, I don't know if this is similar to what you experienced in the past, of all the heartbreak, feeling powerless, feeling trapped, feeling like everything seems so heavy and feels so heavy and seems so difficult. So yeah, group number one, I hope that this reading was useful. You already know that if you ever need, guidance that is catered to you, then you can always just book a private reading with me at tarotbyfernanda.com. That said, I wish you the best, and I will see you on the next pick a card. Hi there, group number two, and welcome to your reading. Now, I got your card over here, the one you picked, and your crystal. Now, also an apology in case that you hear a noise in the background. I recently rescued a puppy, and so, at that age, they play, they sleep, they do whatever they want, and so I still have to watch her. So, yeah, that said, welcome to my channel. I'm Fernanda. I'm the psychic and tarot reader behind all the bigger cards that you can find in this YouTube channel. Now, so let's start with your reading. I'm actually going to be putting your card along with your citrine crystal on the side, because this is part of the second half of the reading, which is your angel's messages, letting you know whether this person is a soulmate or not. Are you ever seeing this person again in your life? And also, how will the dynamic truly be if you were to get back together? Now, in the first half, I'm really centering my attention to what he is going through, or how does he feel about you, the relationship. Does he actually want to get back together? So let me start with something very simple, like his current energy right now. And this energy doesn't have anything to do with your connection with him. It's just his energy in general. And this will be good because, let's say, on group number 1, you could tell right away the person was not receptive for help, right? So if that's what you want to offer, this person, because of his current energy, is not receptive to that. In your case, the person you're asking about, there's this 6 of Wands. So he is or she is actually doing pretty well. Like his energy is like running, like he's running pretty high. Like he is really focused on the success or whatever. He has been having a lot of little wins in his life right now lately. And so he feels pretty good about himself. He is very receptive to new opportunities. I think he's someone right now at this time of his life. Oh, and the Magician. Now, with the Magician, he's definitely feeling on top of the world. I feel like things are working out for him, whether in his career, within his friends, his family. But he just feels like whatever acknowledgement he looks for, and you will know better about what is something that he values a lot, he's getting it. So if he really loves to get acknowledgement from his family, acknowledgement from work, maybe he's a YouTuber and he just hit a new goal, he feels like right now he's in clouds, because he just feels really good about himself. And with Magician is like he's working on new projects. He is exploring a lot of his talents. He's someone who has like right now at this time like a very strong confidence of his abilities or her abilities to do whatever he sets his mind to. So he or she's going through a very like good time, I will say, career-wise or in his life just in general. Like everything that he is doing or he starts to do really is giving him great results. And so he is like what you will call like being on a roll, right? And so I would say that he would be in a pretty good mood. And with this 4 of Pentacles as well, I do think he is looking for that like long-term financially stability or work stability, and he is very like protective of things that he has gained right now, his assets. It's like he has a plan. He's very driven right now. I can tell right away. He is going through a phase of his life that he feels driven. He feels successful. He feels confident. He feels wanted as well, because with this 6 of Wands, someone who gets a lot of applause or from other people. So he definitely does feel wanted. Sorry about that. I just need to check if the microphone was actually recording. Now, so that said, he's definitely feeling like his best, and he feels wanted, or there's a lot of attention. He's receiving a lot of attention or acknowledgement from the people he wants to get this acknowledgement from. And if maybe some of you are actually dating or were dating a public figure, I don't know, this person is doing pretty good right now. Now I'm not showing, it's not saying like this person is dating someone else or anything like that. It's not that. Just he is or she's doing really good. He, in whatever his career or passion is, seems like someone quite creative as well, quite like entrepreneur as well, and things are working out. Maybe not like financially necessarily, but because seems like he's just being careful and has a plan to financially grow, but everything else, like that's not necessarily like an exchange of money, it's doing really great. Now when it comes to his perception of this connection, and this is important to kind of understand that everyone will have their own perception of a relationship, and it can change throughout time. So maybe right after you guys broke up, he felt like this was the best thing ever, but then 2 years later he realizes that this was not a good relationship, let's say. So our perception of a relationship, of a connection, can change through time. So I'm really asking what his perception is to this day. And so far he pictures this, he perceives this connection, like the connection you two had, regardless if it lasted 5 days, 5 months, 15 years, with the moon, the 5 of Cups, and the 8 of Wands. Let's see if we can zoom in. Okay, so I do think that, okay, there's definitely the physical attraction, the fireworks, the passion in there, but with this 5 of Cups and the moon, this person really, I feel like he or she regrets a couple things, and maybe I feel like he feels like he didn't give his best. That this relationship, this connection definitely did activate a lot of insecurities, a lot of fears, a lot of blockages that he didn't even know he had. And I just feel like with the moon is like someone who, you know, she jumps into the water, but she's fully clothed, and when she will try to swim out of, like, to the surface, she will realize that she's heavier than she thought, so because of all the clothes. And I'm really getting more the sense of, like, him really wanted this relationship, but he realized he was less equipped. He was not equipped as he thought he was for a relationship. And this connection specifically with you did bring out a lot of his insecurities, a lot of his baggage, a lot of darkness he did not even know, I think, that he had. And with this black and white wolf, I really feel like it's this whole, like, there's this polarity of the good and bad, or good and evil, and like what is the right thing to do. And I feel like there was a struggle to always do the right thing in here. And this is why I also feel like there's a sense for this specific person that she discovered darkness or needs that he didn't know he had, or traumas. So there's a lot of that stuff that came to the surface. And maybe you two were very different as well. And so it was kind of difficult to work in harmony together as a team. I think also that there was always this constant fear or walking on eggshells in this connection, at least in his perspective. And with this 5 of Cups, it's like there's definitely a lot of regrets when it comes to this connection, that I feel like, I'm not saying that he's genuine about this, like he will do things differently, but I do think that there's a lot of regrets because he feels that you two spent a lot of time wasting your relationship rather than enjoying each other's company, and a lot of times, because things were not exactly the way you two picture it, you would not appreciate what was in front of you in that moment. And also, I just feel like it's like when someone is wasting precious time, that could have been used much better. And not saying like he wishes the relationship ended before. No, it's like when someone just had, let's say, a bad morning, and then the entire day is bad just because they had like that one incident in the morning. And so it's like when someone, it's like, you know, this metaphor that people use a lot of, like, if you had like $10,000 and you only lose like 100, will you like just drop the rest of the $10,000 just because you got stolen $100? And so this is the same feeling I'm getting for your relationship. It seems like a lot of times, because of one small thing, you guys ended up completely like that week was a bad week, or that day was a bad day. And I just think that that's his perception, because of one argument or something. It just seemed like your outings, your datings will like turn really sour after that. And he just didn't understand how you two could possibly be wasting so much precious time. I feel like he wishes he would have enjoyed even more, and he wouldn't get hooked on these little things. And with the Eight of Wands, definitely fireworks, definitely a lot of passion, physical attraction, and dynamite. I feel like I'm getting a lot like it was bound to happen. Like he knew that things couldn't be like this with such a heavy energy for too long. It was something that was bound to explode, to fall down, to fall. Yeah. And so let's now look at what his perception of you is. So remember, this is not who you are, but this is how he perceives you. And this is subjective. So this is not like objective. This really is not a representation of who you are. Plus also could be limited. His knowledge could be limited because maybe you haven't talked in years, in months, I don't know, and a lot has changed, and he is left with a specific idea of you. So his current perception of you, Three of Wands, you're an event, like he perceives you as like kind of a like free spirit, someone who is very adventurous, someone who loves to travel, who loves to take risks, very independent, very strong, very passionate and creative. The Emperor, someone who's very bossy as well. You like to do things the way you like to do them. With a lot of potential in your career, but I think that more than that with the Emperor, I just feel like you're someone who can be a great leader. You're someone who speaks your mind and who also could be protecting others. So you're the type of person that when you see anything unfair happening, you will speak up for other people. But that speaks volumes of how he perceives you as this very strong-minded person. And you're strong enough to even be taking care of others or being like defending, taking a stand for others and protect other people. Definitely, I feel like a very masculine energy that he like masculine traits of like leadership. You speak up, you protect. I don't know if you provide, but you definitely protect, and you're this like free soul. Like I said, an adventurer, and you're always looking for something new, like the new adventure, something like that. So I just feel like there's this feeling of like you were always looking for something new, and there's this feeling that maybe he was very insecure about that. Now maybe the moon makes a bit more sense with those insecurities that came up, that he didn't even know that was in there for him. And sorry, I'm still sick and I'm recovering very slowly because of the puppy I rescue. She is very demanding, and so it's taking me some time to recover. Okay, so before I even look at anything, let's ask about whether he wishes to get back together. Like, is this something he still thinks about? Is this something he still, is still in his mind? Is this something he still considers like a possibility? With this Eight of Swords, no, he doesn't. There's Nine of Cups. He doesn't well, okay, so this is the thing. He wants to, but he doesn't think it's a possibility. So there's a twist in here. So if in an ideal world, I think that maybe one of you may be dating someone else, or maybe your situation, realistically speaking, you two could not get back together, because dating someone else, living like apart, like maybe you live in Australia and this other person lives in Canada, I don't know, and it just feels like a strong feeling of, I mean, if things could happen like just like this, yes, I would, but realistically, it won't happen. Like, I don't believe, like, this is what he's saying. I don't believe this will ever happen. This is not even a possibility. I mean, I don't even think it's a possibility. This is like what he tells himself, but there is this big feeling as well of he wishes he could leave a different impression on you. I think there is a level of regret or something of how he, like his last the impression he left on you, and I feel like he wishes he could give you back everything you gave him, or he wants to feel like he doesn't owe you anything anymore. Energetically speaking, maybe you did a lot for him, maybe you helped him a lot, because he wishes he could pay you back. He knows in his mind, he doesn't think you two will ever get back together. He understands that. He doesn't see that as a possibility. But he wishes he could leave a more beautiful note, on a more beautiful note. So you are like, you keep more of a beautiful memory of him. Yeah. Okay, so now let's ask your angels, how will the dynamic generally be if you were to be together, if you two are soulmates, and if you ever going to see this person again, okay? And I mean, those that do work with this person, or you have like, friends, similar friends or acquaintances, then you know you're going to be seeing this person. But a lot of people may never actually cross paths with their ex. So let's look at that. Will you ever cross paths with your ex again? Oh, also, this is the right time to subscribe, to give it a like, to leave a comment, but mainly subscribe, because I notice that 95% of you that watch my videos on a weekly basis are not subscribed yet, which is crazy. So this is such a simple way of showing your support. Alrighty. Will you be seeing this person? Yes, it's a big yes, but there will be a lot of time to wait. Like, it's not in the immediate future. With Temperance, it's not in the immediate future, but also you're meant to see each other again. So maybe there is some unfinished business in here. Because your angels with Temperance, it is telling me also that this will be happening because it was like synchronized by your angels and spirit guides, and that's why you two actually will be crossing paths. But that tells me that there's nothing you can do or you should be doing to make this happening sooner. There must be a reason why you two will be crossing paths. I mean, this guy, this woman definitely felt like they wish they could leave a lasting impression on you that is much more positive. And how will the dynamic be if you two were ever to get back together? The Sun, Five of Wands, Five of Pentacles. I do think that you two may end up being friends maybe later on, because with the Sun, I do think that you two, there's something about you two making each other very happy. You two being amazing friends, having a great dynamic, making each other feel so much better. Being able to share your happiness with the other person. But definitely with this Five of Wands and Five of Pentacles, we go back to maybe a competitive dynamic, very lacking dynamic, lacking of, there could be trouble over money, conversations over money. There could be a lot of insecurities again with this Five of Coins, that's someone feeling left out. And it just feels like you two have your own way of thinking and you fight for it. And he feels or she feels that you have a very strong personality to begin with. And so I do think that this war that you two have of like who has the power, it's a thing that will just keep repeating in the future if you get back together. And with this Three of Cups on the bottom, you two could actually end up being friends later on. If you were to get back together, I think that that's what's going to end up happening. You will realize that it makes more sense to be friends. Or there's this other thing that for very few of you, you will end up opening your relationship. And let's look if this person is your soulmate. And with this Eight of Arrows, this person that you were asking about is not your soulmate. Okay, so you don't have a soulmate contract. Remember, we have several soulmates in this life, and we meet more than one. And I feel like you have and live in coherence and authentically in this world, and you are self-aware, more you actually will be meeting a lot of soulmates. But you will also soon realize that not everyone you're meant, like everyone that's your soulmate you're meant to stay with. In this case, this person is not a soulmate. In case that this is something that you thought that was like being the reason why you felt this strong pull towards this person, but no, he's not or she's not your soulmate. Okay? Alrighty. Alright, that was it, pretty much. I'll see you on the next pick a card, and you already know that if you ever wish to have a private reading, you can just go to my website, tarotbyfernanda.com. I'll see you on the next pick a card. Bye. Hi there, group number 3, and welcome to your reading. I'm Fernanda. I'm the tarot reader and psychic behind all the pick a cards that you can find in this YouTube channel. Now, first of all, an apology if there are noises and barks in the background. I recently rescued a puppy from the streets, and you know puppies, they are playful and they bark and they sleep and they bark again, and you know they have a mind of their own. So, and I'm watching her at the same time. So here we are. Let's start with your reading, group number 3, and just remember to only to take only what resonates with you, and the rest you can leave it behind. And be very coherent. I want you, whenever you're watching my pick a cards, be very self-aware of like what your ego wants you to take and what it doesn't want you to take, and then what intuitively you know that is yours, and why you intuitively know that is not a good fit for you, for your case, okay? So sometimes we tend to just want to hear what we want to hear, and if you watch a lot of pick a cards and the same message is coming up over and over again, it is important for you to take this seriously. Okay, so let's start with your reading, group number 3. I'm going to actually leave your crystal and your card on the side right now, because this is the second half of your reading that is more about your angels' messages. Let's start with this person's energy. Okay, so your ex-partner, your ex-husband, your ex almost something, you know. I just want to see what is his current energy right now, regardless if this, you know, connection was recent, 5 years ago, 15 years ago, it really doesn't matter. I just want to know, you know, how is he doing, and not necessarily related to your relationship, like your relationship of you two, but more like just in general, because this will also, for those that are like thinking of reaching out to him or offering help or something, you know, which is sometimes knowing what people's priorities right now are would, you know, just help. And so right now he got the Strength card and the Fool. So this person is really, and the Two of Cups on the bottom. So I feel like this person is ready for a relationship, or is looking for a new beginning, there is something about this group that I feel like this person right now is currently working on herself or himself. Okay, nothing to do with the cards. I just feel like they're working on themselves. They are also want to have a new beginning and do things differently this time. This person is very confident, full of life, very creative, very passionate, and I just think that this person doesn't care about what other people think, and that he or she is willing to take risk for whatever he wants. And so with this vibe or energy of risk taking, you have the Two of Cups on the bottom, and I just feel like this person, his overall energy, his or her, but you know, I'll always be saying like his, but you know, that's his or her. He's this confident person that will bet it all, that will risk it all for the sake of true love. He is definitely a dreamer when it comes to that. He is someone who wants a real deep connection. He won't settle for just like a lover. He wants a soulmate type of connection. And this could be you, right? I don't know if you're actually a soulmate, but it's just this person is someone who at this moment feels very brave to take risk, to make things work. and for him to find the right person or be with the right person. Now let's look at his perception of this connection. And this is his current perception of the connection you two had. Whether it was 5 years ago, 15 years ago, 5 days ago, it really doesn't matter. But what I just want to make it clear is that this is his current perception, right? It's not like 4 months ago or 5 years ago when you first broke up. It's right now, today. How does he picture, envisions, what is his perception of your relationship, what you two had? And it's a very positive one with the Lovers and the Four of Pentacles. Definitely something that he cherishes. Raquel, be a good girl. Good girl. Yeah. Okay. So in here, you got this with the Lovers and the Four of Coins, and then on the bottom, the Hierophant. I really feel like this person felt like this connection was marriage material, that you were or you are his true love. Definitely he believes in soulmate material as well. He believes that this connection was really strong, was like kind of a one in a lifetime type of love. You two really care about each other deeply. I really feel like he perceived this connection of like two soulmates being together, whether he believes in soulmates or not. But I think he does because of this Two of Cups also that was trying to come out in his current energy. And with the Four of Pentacles, it's like it is something that he cherishes so much, that he also values so much. And I think that this connection, I'll say this guy or this woman doesn't talk shit about you guys, doesn't let other people say bad things about you. And I say this because of the Hierophant on the bottom, because the Hierophant is everything that is conservative, traditional, values, morals, and whatever is precious to someone. And so when something is so precious, you don't want to share with others, or you will never let other people step on it. And so I think that if ever there were comments about you or your relationship, I even picture him taking the blame rather than putting the blame on you. Like, at least at this day, right? I'm not saying maybe back then it wasn't the case, but right now he cherishes your relationship, and I don't feel like he lets anyone talk bad stuff about what you two had or about you. He really thinks what you two had was so precious, and I'm just getting a really positive energy from this connection. Now, also with the stone, any black stone, regardless if it's an obsidian, if it's a jet, whatever stone, if it's black, it's all about like, it's kind of a protector of bad energy, of negative energy, and it's also like a filter, like the bad energy enters and then this is being transformed into a lighter energy. And so I just feel also that this person is quite protective about you, and I just really feel like you two used to make each other be better when you were together. Let's see what is his perception of you. Although I'm already getting this whole thing of he really cares about you. He really cherishes your time together. He really loves you. I will say that, I mean, I wonder if he still loves you. We're not really focused on his feelings on this reading, but I feel like, you know, when you're not with someone, you're no longer in love with them, but I strongly feel like he or she loves you for sure. And so how does he perceive you? This Ace of Swords, Two of Wands, and the Judgment card. So this is like how he perceives you right now. This could be accurate or not, because remember, someone's perception of you will be subjective. It's not objective, and also could be limited by the amount of information he has access to. If you two are not in, you're not in touch, you have zero contact, then he doesn't really know what's going on with your life, so he just has like this picture of who he thinks you are. But it's the positive like perception. He definitely thinks that you're really smart, that you are open-minded, or that you are turning like around a corner and trying to be more open-minded, learning new things. That you are opening yourself to a new way of thinking, making a lot of plans for the future. Maybe you're someone who travels a lot or who plans a lot. I even feel like scrapbooking could be a thing of yours, and he pictures you of like a dreamer. And with judgment as well, I feel like you are someone who has changed so much, who has redeemed herself, who has like uh, maybe also there could be some religious tone in here, um, of like you redeeming yourself religiously, or like being more conservative again for some reason. There some of you this will make sense for some of you, but majority of you this is just like kind of being at peace with who you were, what you did, and redeeming yourself and forgiving yourself, and being more open-minded, doing a lot of like self-reflection, I will say. And yeah, to picture you, like to perceive you as this really smart person with a lot of dreams, and working on forgiveness as well. And okay, so now let's actually ask whether this person wishes or still thinks about you, like I want to get her back. Like, is this something that still is in his mind, in her mind? Is this something that is still like kind of a reality for him? Of Because there's some groups that it's like they know it's not even a reality. But if it were possible, yes, but they're not going to do anything because it's not a reality. And this could be because, sometimes people get into relationships, they marry, they have kids. In your case, this person, I feel like he still wants you back, but there is something about like there are a lot of like he wants you back, but not right now. Like, because he feels like you two have to be in a better place or more peaceful place in your life before you are together. There's a lot of changes that have to happen. Some, maybe in some cases, some of you do actually have a trip or have like something that is taking you away from that person. And so they just feel like later on it will make sense, but not right now. Right now will be such a headache. There will be a lot of impediments, a lot of problems in your connection. But definitely, more than like getting back together with you right now, he knows you are his wife. It's like someone who's not with you right now, but he knows that you are the one. So it will take some time according to him, right? Things could happen differently, but in his mind, in the way he thinks, he wants to get back together, but just not right now because he's not looking forward to all the difficulties for this to happen. But he perceives you as his wife, as someone that whenever he gets back together, whenever you two get back together, like if you do, because he does want to, he thinks that like this is forever. Like once that we do, we need to have this stability, and this is like we are forever. This could also be some financial trouble, like we need to be more stable before we even get back together. So let me now ask your angels about how will the dynamic or the relationship be if you two were actually to be together, to get back together. And let's say that you never get back together. Will you ever even cross paths again? And let's see if this person is a soulmate to begin with. And I feel like this person is definitely a soulmate. So you got this Six of Cups. So your angels do mention that this person is a soulmate. Now with this Six of Cups on top of that, I feel like this person maybe feels very familiar to you, because I'm getting a sense of like you two follow each other in different lives. You two or you may have met when you were younger, you dated when you were younger, and you will meet again. There's something about like even when you're not together, you just really wish the best to the other person. And that's the feeling I'm getting from both of you. Like, even if you're not together, you wish him the best, he wishes you the best. And a lot of you it's not a linear type of connection. It's like you meet, then you're not together, and then later on you meet again and you're together. And I just feel like for those that this is the soulmate that you have, that you're very good friends and you follow each other in different lives, doesn't mean that you end up marrying this person in every life. It's just because we have several soulmates. So, but this is one soulmate that you're very familiar with, and I feel like in every life you end up meeting him at least once and actually loving him. Doesn't mean that you end up always marrying this person, because he may not be the right fit for you in every life. Okay, so let's look at how will the dynamic actually be if you were to get back together. And also just remember to subscribe, to give it a like. If you have made it to this point of the reading, then I'm guessing you're getting really great information from these readings and you are connecting with this dynamic. And trust me, you can go to my YouTube channel and there's tons of pick a cards, and I will keep publishing a new one every week. But yeah, just subscribe and give it a like. So let's look at the dynamic. Future dynamic if you were to get back together. Two of Swords. So this makes sense because I'm really getting like you two have more than one soulmate in this life, so it will be a tough choice because you will have to choose between this person and someone else. I do think that you two will cross paths in the future again. I do think it's a really important decision for you and a difficult one because, like, Two of Swords, it's a difficult decision because there's two paths that there's something that you could get out of it and that you'll be happy with it. It's more about like your personal choice. And I think that that's his case as well. Like you and him really love each other, really care about each other, but it's like, and you are soulmates, but it's like this, do we actually belong together? Or maybe I have outgrown this version that used to match with you, but I'm no longer this person. Or we love each other, but really we're going in different directions, and that's the truth. And even if we care about each other, like there may be someone better fitted for me later on. And I think that those are like, if you two actually end up getting back together, this will be a very difficult choice from both of you. I'm really getting that sense of like you connected at some point of your life and you will always care about each other, but maybe you're going on different paths and wanting to prioritize or develop self-awareness in specific areas of your life that are very different. And this is why with the Six of Cups as well, I feel like you two, when you met or when you were together, was a time that you were still finding yourself and you two connected really well. But I'm getting like a sense of you are changing so much, or you have already changed so much, that although there will be love, because when there's a soulmate, there's always love. There's always like love and caring for the other person. But you need to make the difference with being in love and in making sense to be in love with someone, because being in love is also like admiring and respecting someone's qualities, and maybe he or you are going completely different directions. Let's say that at some point you two connected, but then you became such a spiritual person, and this other person, he is very career oriented, and maybe your values, your morals, the way that you see life doesn't match anymore. That's what I'm getting. But definitely he cares so much about you and he really loves you. Now with the Three of Swords, Nine of Pentacles, and Nine of Cups, I do feel like the Nine of Cups and Nine of Pentacles, it's very like about what you want and achieving exactly what you wanted. Now the thing is, I'm really getting this sense of like in the beginning, it will be really hard with this Three of Swords because a lot of wounds from the first time around that you were together will come up to the surface, and I do think that there will be such a big adjustment to be together again with the new version that you like, how you two are. But in this Nine of Cups and Nine of Pentacles, for me, the Nine of Cups and Nine of Pentacles, it's your personal needs, and that could be the ego talking. This is like, you feel very satisfied. Don't get me wrong. You feel very satisfied. You both feel very satisfied, but the Nine of Cups is you getting exactly what you wanted rather than you getting the best that you could have gotten where you have trusted the universe and God. And this is something that this is always my take on this energy, and even more when you have two of these cards that is very about like putting on a trophy and like desiring something so much and getting it, but it was not something that God was guiding you to or your angels were guiding you to. It's more about like a personal desire and you feel very satisfied with it, but I feel like there could be someone else for you. Just letting you know that, okay? There is this King of Cups as well, so maybe some of you are dealing with a water sign. So that's a Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces. So that's one of you are a Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces with this King of Cups. I mean, you two will actually marry, build a family. Yeah. So it will work out. It's just I'm giving you that advice that they're giving me because they're giving me this extra information, and the feeling of it is someone who you care about, but maybe it's not the right fit for you anymore. Who knows? You will know best. Now, will you be meeting this person regardless of you getting back together or not? Will you two are meant to cross paths? This card came out on the last reading as well for this specific question. And you can tell that I'm like shuffling, right? I'm not picking the cards. And so for this specific case, they are saying yes, but it's something that your angels will have to synchronize. It has nothing to do with you reaching out to him reaching out to you. This is something like you spot each other on the street, or you spot each other, or you are flying on the same plane, something like really like what, like really random, but you know that it cannot be a coincidence because it was synchronized by your angel. So it's nothing that you have to, there's not something you have to do right now to make this meeting happening. So that said, group number 3, thank you so much for your presence, for your beautiful energy, for your support as well, and I'll see you on the next pick a card. Bye. Hi there, group number 4, and welcome to your reading. Now I got your card over here as well as your amethyst over here. Now I'm gonna leave it on the side because this is actually the second half of the reading. Now let me start with everything that has to do with his energy or her energy, her perception, whether she wants to get back together or not. And well, that said, I also just want to say welcome to my channel. My name is Fernanda. I'm the tarot reader and psychic behind all the bigger cards that you can find in this YouTube channel. And also, in case that there's a lot of noise in the background or barks, just letting you know, I recently rescued a puppy from the street. So when they're puppies, they play, they sleep, and they play again, they bark, they have a mind of their own. So we'll try to do our best. Group number 4. So let's look at this person, your ex-girlfriend, your ex-boyfriend, your ex-husband, your ex almost something, how is he doing right now? And not necessarily to do with the fact that you two are not together, but just in general, because when, let's say, in case that you left this person because he was going through a depression, or she was going through a depression, or they were going through a hard time, let's say, or and they still are going through this, and it's better to know. Okay, with the Hanged Man, definitely this person is feeling, he is in a time of his life that things are not necessarily moving or changing around him. He feels a little bit stuck I'll say, I also feel like he's self-indulging. There's something about he is self-indulging right now. He is also being a bit more superficial, I find. There's this thing with the hangman, and then on the bottom there was this nine of coins, and I feel like the nine of coins, it's all about, rewarding yourself and treating yourself so good and pamper yourself, and all that is like rewarding yourself somehow, right? But with the hangman, it's like nothing is moving, nothing is changing necessarily. And so when this happens, when life is not moving, when life is not changing, we are trying to then find a way out, a way of entertaining ourselves rather than like being self-aware of what's going on. And so I feel like he or she is being a bit more materialistic as well. Maybe someone who's indulging a lot, going out a lot, treating herself a lot in in a good way as well. Materialistic is not something bad. It's not the action, but it's the why behind it, right? The reason behind it. So I feel like this person feels stuck in life, and so it's just rather than doing this self-awareness, they a lot of for a lot of you, this person, your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend, is instead looking attention, I feel like, elsewhere, or looking validation. Is validation, that's a word. They're looking validation through clothes, through makeup, through like other people, through materialistic things. Yeah. See if there's something else. Yeah, no, that is the energy right now. I feel like also it could be like they're waiting. They're waiting for something while they're pampering themselves. So they're like, might as well not overthinking, might as well not suffer, not like be sad about this. I'm stuck for a reason, like I can't move forward or backwards or sideways. So might as well just enjoy my time while I do it. And the way of enjoying his or her time is, like I said, treating themselves, pampering themselves, um, hanging out with people that will be adoring them or putting them on a pedestal, taking care of their body. Maybe also, like on a more positive note, for some of you, your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend are really working out really hard. They are taking care of their physique, of their health, their fitness journey. They're dressing differently. So what I meant by materialistic or superficial is that the change that is happening is on the outside rather than maybe doing some work in the inside. They are kind of prioritizing the change on the outside, if that makes sense. Okay, now, so let's now look at what is this person's perception, yeah, of the relationship. So it doesn't matter if you two dated 5 years ago, 8 years ago, 5 days ago, 15 years ago. It really doesn't matter. It's just what his perception of the relationship was, of the connection that you two share. And this is something that could change through time. So really, I'm asking about right now, if he believes it's something beautiful or if it was something really, ugly, whatever it was, it is the case. So with the Knight of Cups, the Eight of Cups, and the Two of Cups that tried to come out in the beginning, but I had not yet asked anything. And you can see the Lovers on the bottom. There's a lot of cups coming out. So I think that definitely this person felt like this love was, or this connection was real love. I think that there was a lot of romantic gestures in this relationship as well. There's some relationships that there's no romance whatsoever, but yours, it was packed full on romantic gestures and talks and maybe poems and writing letters. And I just think it was such a beautiful, it seems like a synchronized dance. That's how it feels when I'm looking at this. And it just was very romantic, very loving. I think that you two made a lot of promises as well. and this person perceives this relationship as something beautiful, and there's this thing of like, we had to grow up, we had to like, we had to be more realistic. I feel like you two grew into like, you loved each other and you were very like also such dreamers in the beginning. And I just feel like the priority, which was love, drifted away. Maybe one of you had a lot of more responsibilities outside of the relationship. It feels like one of you ended up being a bit more cold at the end, more responsible, more logical, more about structure and like what makes sense. But overall, he sees it as such a beautiful time, and it's like, this was a relationship where we loved each other. I don't feel like there's any complaints whatsoever. Yeah, and the Queen of Cups. So see, there's a King of Swords, the Queen and the Queen of Cups. So this is air and water energy. So one of you could be Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces, and the other person was a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. Those are the like biggest energies, and I feel like with this King of Swords and the Queen of Cups, there could have been very like, you two were very different, because there's this person that feels deeply, that loves deeply, that is very romantic, that is creates intimacy in the relationship. And by intimacy is like, you, whoever it was, this person that had more like this emotional like safe, and like will create this more emotional safe environment, it made the other person open up. While a King of Swords is someone who goes through with like, moves in life with logic, and maybe he also attributes more value to education. He carries a lot of responsibility, so he's not only responsible for himself but for others, and so he can really feel that responsibility. He could be sometimes more harsh as well. He could be more cold, harsh, rude at times. He will make tough calls that a Queen of Cups wouldn't ever make. Even though that's what makes sense, she will never make it, because she looks at it at a more emotional side, emotional point of view. Like, love is what matters, and the other person is like, but logically, like, this doesn't make sense. And so I feel like two people that had very different nature, like, or like way of moving in life, and so it just I feel like at some point it was time to move on, according to him. Okay, so what is his perception about you at this moment? And this is like, this could be not a good representation of who you are, but this is his perception of you. And remember, this is subjective, this is not objective of him or her. And this could be also different because you two may actually not be in touch with each other. And so the information he has about you may be limited. But so what impression or what does he think about you? How does he perceive you? You are a great teamwork, you are a great team player. You're someone who's very fair, someone who is very loving as well. He does perceive you as a soulmate for sure. He does perceive you as a soulmate, as a very loving person, someone who is very fair, protective of others, someone who is very confident of and very hot. I never use the word hot, but it's really coming true. Like, you're hot, very attractive, very confident, very strong and independent, and you're such a great leader as well. And you like to work in, and yet even though you're like this very strong person and passionate person, and you could work by yourself, I feel like he feels like you're someone who likes to do things in teams all the time, who likes to collaborate all the time, Probably like when he will do the dishes, you will be like, oh, we'll do them together, right? And he will be like, but that's a one person's task. Or like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and you're like, oh, let's do it together. Or like you'll do something and be like, hey, do you wanna like join me? And he will be like, that's something that one person does it, but it just seems like you like to have people around you all the time, and that's his perception of you, that you need or you love, enjoy to have people around you all the time and do things in teams rather than by yourself. And he thinks, like I said, that you're someone who's very fair. Like you could never do something wrong to someone. You could never like harm someone. And this King of Wands and Justice energy with this whole like confident and fire element, yet will never harm someone on purpose. I feel like this gives me like Sagittarius vibes and Aries vibes, because a thing about Aries and Sagittarius I find is that they are very strong because they're fire elements. They're very strong people, but they will, and sometimes it could be blunt, but you can tell that they never do things to genuinely hurt you. And that's what I'm getting, like that Aries Sagittarius energy as well. Let's see if this person wishes to get back together. And there's a straight answer. This is a no. This person does not. I feel like this person was left with a really good impression of you. One sec. You know what is really weird? The same kind of cards came out in another group when I was asking this question. Just there's a different order here. I think that one of you could be married already, could already have like a long-term commitment, one of you. So it's like no, but no, not because the idea wouldn't be pleasing to him or her. It's more because it just wouldn't make sense, because you already have a long-term commitment, or he feels like you are a really high value person, and it would never make sense. Yeah, although I feel like he will love the opportunity to be around you, to start. Ace of Wands, Ace of Coins, Ace of Swords. It's like I feel like this person will love any opportunity of any other type or any other kind but romantic, because the one thing that didn't come out is the Ace of Cups. So you got the Ace of Wands, Ace of Coins, Ace of Swords. So it's like this person will love to collaborate or be around you in any other way but intimate relationship at this point. Now let's ask your angels, okay? Because this is his perception. So let's see what your angels have to say, your spirit guides have to say about this. And also, if you have made it to this point of the reading, this is the perfect time to support the channel if you're liking the content. So you can just subscribe right now, give it a like, comment. This is a beautiful way to show me your support and your appreciation, and it's such a simple thing to do. So okay, let's look at how will the dynamic be if you were to get back together. So there's death, rebirth, this is Scorpio energy. These are 3 cards. Can you give me one more? 3 cards. Can you give me one more? Yeah. 10 of Cups. So you got this Scorpio, the Death card, and the 10 of Cups, which the 10 of Cups is one of the happiest cards. So if you were to get back together, I do feel like you two, if you end up getting back together, will be at a time that you two have changed so much. And I just feel like it would actually work out. With this 10 of Cups, you would share families, or yeah, and with the Empress, definitely have a kid of your own as well. In case I feel like I'm sensing this like second marriage type of vibe, or second chance type of vibe, but like when you are even though some of you may already have kids with someone else or have built a family with someone else, there is the chance of getting back together and like building a family and like bringing two families together and having kids of your own, expanding. This relationship has a lot of potential in the future, like if you two were to get back together. But I just, with the death and rebirth, this is like this second chance, but the relationship will be completely different from what you remember, which is a really good thing, because if that's the case with this Ten of Cups and the Empress as well, it's saying like it's a very abundant relationship, very beautiful. Everything grows, like all conversations lead somewhere. All conversations do lead somewhere, all efforts do lead to something. It just seems like a really beautiful dynamic if you two were to get back together. But let's see. So when it comes to whether this person is your soulmate or not, you have this card of illusion, and this is the moon. One second. I'm still recovering. It's a little bit hard to recover with this puppy because she just needs a lot of attention and I can't sleep that much. It just feels like for some of you, this person is not your soulmate. For a majority of you, this person is not your soulmate. There is this thing though. I'm feeling with you with how beautiful the dynamic would be, and you'll be really happy. You need to understand that not all of us actually marry a soulmate or are together with a soulmate. Like, we don't end up with a soulmate. And there's so many of us that do end up meeting a lot of soulmates in our lives, and we may end up not actually ending up with a soulmate. I just think it's depending of the experience you want to have in this life. I'm getting like this person or this connection is a beautiful one. You two will have such a harmonious and well-balanced relationship. But he is not a soulmate. Just letting you know, he's not a soulmate. When this comes out, and mainly for this specific question, this story of Ivan and Odette, the Lake of Swan, or the I can't remember the name of the story, but it's this princess that is turning into a swan, and then this other person embodies her and is going to marry the prince. And the prince cannot tell the difference because of course they look the same, but also the thing with this whole thing of this person not being your soulmate makes me feel like this guy or this woman looks very much alike, like someone you may actually meet in the future or you have already met, and that person is your actual soulmate. I just feel like this person has a lot of similarities with an actual soulmate of yours, maybe physically, personality wise, and when you meet this other person, you're gonna be like, whoa, you really remind me of so and so, but now it makes so much more sense. Will you be seeing this person? Will your paths cross again sometime in this life? Of course, those that do work with this person or have kids together, then of course you will be seeing this person more than once. But there's a lot of us that we never share like friends or a job with this person, so we'll never really get a chance to see them unless we cross paths somehow. And in your case, yes, you are seeing this person again. You'll be seeing this person again. So there are two things. One, for some of you it's like in 4 years, it's like in a very long time, and some of you this is like in a couple of weeks you're actually seeing this person again, so you will know which one is your case. But yeah, so that is the answers from your angels as well. Now if you ever feel like
it will be very useful to get a private reading. You can always go to my website, trybyfernanda.com, and book a private reading with me. So that said, this was everything for today, and I hope that you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you on the next pick a card.